That's the plan. We will not be making any stops on the way. Thanks.
Is this supposed to be a noisy march?
Yes, please make lots of noise. And if you brought drums, noisemakers, great. If not, you have feet and hands and we have signs and hopefully we have bands. So yeah, noisy march.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Do we have a current legal number that we can post up somewhere nice and big so we can write it down in case there is any kind of legal concern tonight?
Does anybody know if there is what the legal number is, the legal health number is tonight? Let's go and pay for that for a while and let's come back to that. Other working group report facts. Outreach. Food. Okay. Let's move on then. So the visiting question tonight. How do we enforce community standards in our community? So how do we, if we make a consensus decision, or if we come up with a consensus and then members do not follow that, how do we deal with that? I think that was the essence of that question, right? Yes.
Yeah, so to clarify, I think we're talking about the community of Occupy Chapel Hill, which is open, no borders there, but less so the community of Chapel Hill as a whole or whatever, specifically within our group that tries to self-regulate and utilizes means of organization that allow for self-regulation. We're asking the question of how do we self-regulate them?
Yes.
So for people who are new here, we have consensus. That means we consent as we group certain things. Like maybe we consent that we will all only wear blue. So the question is, if someone shows up and they're wearing green, what do we do? Because we all agreed on it. It's not about anything outside what we're thinking about.
So a more realistic example, perhaps I've heard, is that we agreed that that the camp would be kept in good shape. Be kept, and then so what happens when parts of it look like a hurricane comes? Or another example might be, we agree that this march around the block will be peaceful, albeit noisy. What do we do if somebody in our group decides to go outside of those boundaries? So let's break into small groups of, say, 7 or so, and think about that and talk about that, and we'll take 15 minutes, and then we will come back and share what each group talks about. Find somebody you don't know.
What I really like is someone knows what they need or maybe because I'm already part of it.
Okay, well, I can if you're big enough. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You'll just keep on going? Okay. You're going to come and join us? We're talking about how or perhaps what we can enforce community standards. You want to join our discussion group over here?
Oh, cameraman's being filmed. Look at that. I know your camera's so much bigger than mine. I don't think so.
We didn't really go into depth about how we do sort of self-regulate. So to start with, is anybody sort of unfamiliar with sort of exact ways in which that happens and the resulting expectations for the community? And sort of why this question is so
I don't know how I would.
The whole world is watching.
Personal adherence to responsibility. That's the first. And
thing if we're going to be a full march. Someone that's outside of what do we do now?
I think for other things, I mean, it totally depends on
No, I was just going to say, side note, somebody's going to have to get reports back. Someone want to get in the frame of mind of collecting all this. I call not alien.
I'll consider what makes sense. Yeah. It's very similar to like reading immediately within your situation because of this like I'm on the committee.
Who you guys with?
Hey, lady.
Hello.
You sure you can see over there?
Huh?
You sure you can see over that thing there?
Oh, I'm just filming everything.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ask me a question.
No, I can't answer them quick. You gonna cuss me out. Look, I need you to do me a favor.
What?
Listen, I ain't got enough to get me a pack of cigarettes.
I don't have any money.
Figure that out.
Of the march, we could start out kind of with like a game, like a pep talk or something. We say like we're going to all agree to be this and this, agree on something before we agree.
You can't say that.
What happens if people step off?
I'm sorry.
If someone's really that far outside of the consensus, they publicly shame and ignore that person. So I'm just throwing that into the conversation as that within that system that we base a lot of what we do on, that's how they would handle it. Whether I think that's right or not, I think that's touchy because it is.
Yeah, it becomes difficult when you're trying to
Right. Right.
Or just to ignore it.
Yeah.
We have had some people within the camp. We have some within the
And if we have someone here who's being belligerent or drunk or who's getting high or something like that, it's typically been, and what's been discussed as a healthy alternative is a process of self-regulation, wherein the members who are concerned are looking to the board and say, hey, this is really not cool, it's not good for us, we need you to take this somewhere else. We don't have this power to enforce anything, we're not authorities. Well, you're describing the history. The question is, how do we enforce it? I think that's how we do it, and I guess that's what I would say, is that's how we enforce it. We are police, and we have no legal option to say, get off this property, because it's not our property. It is property that, and the thing is, there's also communities who have been on this property before we have in public spaces, so this idea of occupying isn't new. Particularly like the homeless communities and stuff like that have been living sort of in these spaces for a very long time. So this idea that we can come here and sort of make it ours and start excluding people, even if it's for what we see as good reasons, it's kind of problematic. But so I think we should enforce it as individuals insofar as being able to pressure someone by saying, hey, as a community, like us people literally standing here in front of you, we're uncomfortable with this, what you're doing, whether it's wearing red or, no, wearing a nice sweater with a shirt of some sort, which is absolutely, or drinking alcohol or getting high or whatnot. We think that this is problematic behavior, and we would ask that you stop.
Really, in all fairness, emphasizing that as an example, and that's not actually specifically what brought this up. What brought this up was more questions of what happens if someone misrepresents to the press. Like if someone went to the press and said, yeah, we're all in support of using the White House. How would we respond to that, having not continued to use the White House? But that
was actually last night. What? That was a smaller video. But don't worry, we've got a consensus. We've got a consensus. Fine. The two of us agreed it was a good idea. And you have what does that tell you?
I had to go home and get warmer clothes. Oh yeah. So we have 2 or 3 news channels. No, I think they just want to see them. But I got my Ustream to work live. Like I was having so much trouble getting it to work live, and it was just like one setting that, oh my gosh, I felt like such a dumbass. But I'm like, well, at least it works in time for the march. Oh my god. I was like, this whole time I could have been shooting everything live instead of like recording it and uploading it. So, And then the stuff that I took Monday night, which is like the really important GA that we have with like all those people, I did it on the wrong app. And so now the videos are stuck on it and I can't get them off. They won't upload, they won't save to my computer, they won't save anywhere. It's like the app is just frozen. Like it won't do anything. I know. So that was really frustrating. But I got it to work, so I'm just happy that I could actually do my job. What have you been doing online? Well, trying anyway. So, is it true that, we're discussing what do you do when somebody goes against the group consensus and, like, how do you handle that? Yeah. Or even, like, in this march, like, if they were to go and do something, how are we going to handle that? Did you watch the stuff in New York today? To the live stream all day, watching it.
I'm kind of spinning out into some other reason. I mean,
really? Yeah. It was.
But tell me about it. Tell me. Because I was just about to start looking for YouTube stuff at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like.
Okay. Well, so all day at work I was watching it. Like, so that's 8 hours of watching this damn thing, and everyone is getting massages, hearing me. This is Annie.
So what did they do at the opening?
Okay, so they tried to get past, the police wouldn't let them by, and so they decided to go back to the park. This is after they all marched. But anyway, so then they started barricading everybody in the park. They wouldn't let them out and wouldn't let them in, and then rushed in and like attacked this one group that was doing something. I don't know what they were doing. Somebody ended up getting hurt. And then at 3 o'clock, they all went on this march that they were going to go, and then the cops put up these boulders. There was like 5,000 people marching, between 3,000 and 5,000 people marching, and they put up these little like things, hoping to stop the crowd. And so one guy with a mask pushes it over and runs the other way, and the cops go through the crowd trying to chase him down, and everybody else starts going over the boulder. I mean, it's like this little plastic thing. Everyone can push it. So then, like, they started, like, spilling out into the streets, and everybody started going different ways, and, like, so, I don't know, and then I had to leave work, so I don't know what happened. But it was crazy watching all these people. There was so much police. There was so much police. Not at the beginning. When people started taking the barriers that are in Zuccotti Park and taking them apart and throwing them and, like, and I think that's why they ran in to find the person who did that. But it was awesome because then they were, like, letting, they feel like there's too many people for them to control, so that they put up these little, like, barriers and they can't get to them. I don't know. So,
I don't know. It's way beyond all the little barriers.
My gloves on. I want to see if somebody's chatting. I just touch it with my nose to see what's going on. I guess I could point it towards this.
This morning with the did they go to the strike exchange? What were they doing this morning?
Excuse me, mic check.
Tried to. Mic check.
All right, we've done 15 minutes. How long we've spoken? Are we good, or do we want to talk another 5 minutes? We want to come back? If you want to come back, we feel good. If you want to come back, then twinkle. If you want to talk more, don't twinkle. Okay, let's talk more for 5 minutes. Hey, y'all bring some slides over there.
This morning, how did they start this morning? Did they go to solidarity stuff? Did they march? Did they go to start exchange?
Sorry, hi. Wrong way.
Distracting you.
Oh, it's about, wait, what are we talking about, or what are they talking about?
Discussion topic.
the discussion topic is what do you do if you have a consensus on how you want things to go on a march, and then somebody does something that,
On a march?
like, you know, like we're going to be marching.
So what happens if I throw a brick through the fence?
Right. If you're violent and we're doing a non-violent march, how do we approach that? What do we do? What do we say? Do we do anything? So you better behave yourself.
I'm a big...
Crucify Evan, that's what we're going to do.
No, wait, what if it wasn't me?
Yeah, so if any rocks are thrown, we're going to just know it was you, because...
I'm going to get a tattoo. I thought of this tattoo last night because I saw a friend of mine who has a black cross, which is like one of the anarchist symbols, and it has a skinhead hung on it. Skinhead on it.
Yeah.
And so I just want that with a cop.
Oh my God. So outrageous.
Just like on my arm so everybody can see crucified cop right here.
Why does everything have to be so dramatic?
Life would be boring if it wasn't.
Oh, so this is just for your amusement. Okay. That makes sense.
If it wasn't for my amusement, would I not be talking? I wouldn't be talking about it.
Well,
Aha.
I'm not just here for my amusement. It's
Well, I
cold,
mean, I'm
and I'd rather be in bed having a drink and watching television. So,
It's from New Mexico. It's a gift from Sister. Yeah, I was at this thing with her, and she was like, I always see you wearing bandanas. So cute. It's like,
Now you have flair. Bandana flair.
beard.
I'm trying to get some black bandanas today, but Dollar General's out.
Hi.
I saw you walking.
I thought we were all coming back. You what? I thought we were all coming back, but then...
No, they decided to keep going.
What's our visioning thing? Yeah. Is that what we're doing? Yeah. What's the question? What do we do when Evan breaks the window on the march? How do we enforce community standards? Nobody should break any windows.
Well, Evan suggested it.
It's a solidarity march. It's not a riot.
See? I told you. So if anything happens, we know who it was.
My dinner. I didn't bring the Colorado gloves, and I was like, Maria's being interviewed.
And with some other local economies, they can like us on the internet. I mean, they can do a number of different things that they can read about that are being recommended. And I think switching to credit unions was a huge one. And more people switched to credit unions in October of this year than in all of 2010.
Let me ask you this. Let's go back to the march. So what do you guys do?
Down Cleveland and around and back here.
And your point, like you said, is solidarity.
Yes.
All right, tell me more.
Maria, M-A-R-I-A, Rowan, R-W-A-N. No one has a position. We are not hierarchical. So I'm the person you happen to find.
Sorry, that's why I was like...
I'm a single mom. I have a part-time job doing office work, and I'm a full-time student.
Sorry, I got like a 200 degree blind
I know,
spot,
that's
so.
why I ducked.
Is anybody look?
No, you're fine on that side. Huh? Because we're marching, girl. It's exciting. I don't know. Because you're there. Can you talk to me? Anybody that talks to me gets filmed.
Especially if they have cute little cat ears.
I know, your cat ears are so cute. Come on, let's see you chew.
No.
Come on, take that bite. Mmm.
Occupy that mule. Much less than
What paper are you with?
What?
That's cool.
True.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Okay.
Okay.
We have 20 minutes. We've done this 20 minutes. Let's come back together and share what we've discussed. Come on in.
That guy cracked me up. Huh? That guy cracked me up.
So, where's our note taker? Mrs. K. Oh, okay.
I'm taking a minute.
Minute. Are you able to write down some of the things you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, say hi to the people.
Okay. If you have a hard time hearing, let us know, okay?
Wait a minute.
So,
I don't think you caught me. Is that better?
No.
all right. So, will group one, whoever you are, come forward and give us a sort of a top-level summary. Don't read everything you talked about, but just sort of some of the main points you came to. Who would like to be group one? Yes.
Our group talked about several things. It's the first time I've been here, and someone in our group pointed out a specific instance during a teach-in. Someone was talking over the speaker and wanting to talk and interrupting what was going on, and they weren't sure how to deal with that situation. So we talked about doing points of process. If someone gets off topic, so anybody in the group who feels like someone's getting off topic or interrupting what's going on can make kind of a non-confrontational signal. And then we also talked about giving that person, respecting their voice and giving them time to talk, but asking them to wait till the speaker is done. Other things we talked about were for general cases or extreme cases. Someone brought up that way groups had dealt with them. We didn't condone this as a group necessarily, but talked about how anarchist groups would ostracize members of the society if they were acting against what our community had consented on. We didn't agree with that because we didn't feel like that was being respectful of voices or it could make somebody upset, but ostracizing someone might be something that naturally happens. We didn't come up with anything that's kind of like a blanket. We thought maybe case by case, and that was it. Did I forget anything? That.
Great, thank you. Who's going to be group two?
I'll do that. I've got
Come on, group two.
I've got the minutes.
Come on, group two.
Okay. First, we kind of did a little history about how we operate, which we felt was kind of informational, but it really didn't explain how we deal with problems. Since consensus is our way of making decisions on things such as whether we're going to be an alcohol-free and drug-free campsite, violence-free, whatever, we feel like we can really only enforce those things that are consensus as community standards. It was pointed out that at Zuccotti Park, it's done by peer observation, where if you see somebody drinking and you know that's against the rules, then other people come to that person and ask them either stop drinking and leave until they are sober or just leave. So individual pressure was mentioned as a possibility. Also, we noted different actions require different responses. One person mentioned that Rainbow has a group of mediation and facilitation individuals who are trained to deal with situations that are delicate and that require some type of enforcement. It was pointed out that if we make this very comfortable for people to speak up, some people are naturally outspoken, others are not, and if they feel like they can speak up and not be criticized or condemned, then we think more people will speak up, and that should help. It was also brought out that at Zuccotti that people can be kicked out of the group for unacceptable behavior, but it requires a consensus from the group. And one of our suggestions was that we have teach-ins to train people on how to talk to folks who are having behavioral problems that we need to address. And then all this led to a bigger question of how do we deal with big issues, rifts within the group. And I think that would be a good topic for another vision. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. You want to try doing the group up here?
Group 3!
Group 3.
Steve.
Trying to liven it up.
Well, I'll do... Okay, come on. Yes, sir. Come on. And introduce yourself, too.
All right. Hey, everyone, I'm Austin, Group 3. What's up? We talked about a lot of things. One thing that we mentioned is maybe appointing a group of people who can step up if something sticky arises, but we want to make sure kind of that we don't get into a system of policing and make sure that everyone feels respected and able to speak up if the group is not around to deal with something. Another thing we talked about is how to deal with different degrees of breaching the consensus. So if we consent on non-violence and someone makes a violent action, is that more serious than someone maybe saying something inappropriate to the media or not, and how we kind of can negotiate that. What else? We also talked about the idea that consensus is something that can be revisited and renegotiated if need be, if someone brings an interesting point to the group that we hadn't considered. And to be short, kind of talking about how we deal with things in the heat of the moment and maybe coming up with a response policy or idea around that. And that's more or less what we talked about. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. So I'll speak for the group I was in. We like a lot of what I've heard is wanted more specifics about there seems to have been some thing in mind that people had when they came up with this question, which is not obvious here. For instance, we actually as a group failed miserably at answering this question because that's my I agree with the group, yeah. Agree. Okay. Because we talked about the need for it, but we didn't talk about how to deal with it when it happens. We talked about the traditional methods of you have a court system, you have rules that consensus creates rules, you have a court system, and you have punishments, you have the stocks, you have flogging, you have jail time, you have penalties, you have fines. I don't know, we couldn't really apply that to any sort of a vague notion of what rule has been broken. If somebody wore the wrong color shirt, that would be kind of terrible. But, for example, if we walked around this block and we agreed this was going to be a peaceful march, there was going to be no property destruction, and then one of our group broke a window. That's a much more serious thing. Somebody in our group brought up that if the intent of this question is how do we manage the damage to our image, then we need to think about that as sort of in the context of this. How do we manage media relations and that in the context of something that's not sanctioned by our group? So, it sounds like, so that was sort of our summary of that. It's sort of an unsatisfactory answer, I still feel, but perhaps we needed more specifics to be able to answer it and do it on a case-by-case basis. So, anybody want to make any comments on what we've been talking about before we go on to the next agenda item? Yes.
I would like to say that I like the idea of the point of process for the teach-ins. If somebody is talking over the teacher, I like that idea.
Any other ideas people particularly like that they heard? They say, oh, I like that. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Having a mediation working group for particularly like community rifts, rifts in tactics or ideology or anything else like that, to have a group of experienced people who know how to sort of navigate those waters and help out the community as a whole.
I like that one a lot too.
So one point that was brought up that I thought was really interesting was there's no real sign that tells people that are new to the group what has been consensus on, or somebody that hasn't been here for a while, what has been consensus on. Maybe we should have some way to post that, either on the site or here or both.
All the minutes are on our website.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
But who's going to read through all this?
That's true. That's true.
I just wanted to say that I think maybe the person who spoke first about how anarchists ostracize members of groups that break the rules is a little bit inaccurate. I think an anarchist model would look more like either a facilitation process if somebody had a grievance against someone else, or a mediation like you suggested with the working group. It wouldn't just directly involve people being jerks and kicking someone out of a group. I just wanted to say that. I don't want people to have a wrong idea of something.
Okay. Yes, sir.
My name is Joe. I think it's maybe the fourth time we've talked about a mediation working group. It would be a good idea. I'm going to form it right now. I hope other people want to join it with me. However, I don't want it to be my group. So if you're interested in being part of that, I'm going to be here for the march. Talk to me during the march, and we'll get it going and start our own part of the list to do that.
Well, will you state that as a proposal?
Yes, I will.
Yes.
I am proposing that today we start a mediation working group, and that anyone who would like to be a part of it, speak with me later, and we'll start it and come up with a. Once the working group is started, then we'll also come up with a proposal for how it will work.
Any comments?
Red eyes in your
Friendly twinkles? Shall we just, no comments, no discussion? Shall we vote on that? Thumbs up, yay? Any blocks? Any blocks? Perfect. And you're going to bottom line that right now.
I'll bottom line that.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much.
Consensus!
Okay, so after the meeting today, we'll have a quick group to decide tomorrow's question. So if anybody wants to be a part of that, come and meet. We're on to, we need to review the minutes for the last meeting. And Maria had them, but we lost Maria. So
They're on the website if anybody can get on really quick.
They're on the website.
I'm filming, so I can't.
So we'll move on right now to...
Can't do everything.
The ultimate... Okay. The ultimate graduation ceremony. And before we get into that, I want to ask, have we as a group agreed on what the parameters of this march are? And is that something we need to discuss? Okay. Who are the organizers of that? Who are the organizers of the March Around the Block in Solidarity?
There are some people who are going to be there. Sounds like a cop question, but who are the organizers?
The reason I ask is to get consensus on if we need to talk about what the parameters of that action are.
I think we're just walking.
I thought it was in solidarity with the other occupation movements today.
Yes. Okay. Okay. No need for discussion. Nobody feels the need for putting those parameters down. Okay. So on to the next agenda item: alternate graduation ceremony.
Hello, I'm Carrie. I'm new. This is my first meeting here today. Basically, coming from the idea I've had that, well, I don't know if everyone knows, but Bloomberg is speaking at UNC's graduation this May. Yeah, and sort of in light of, especially recently it happened in New York, he's definitely a symbol that I think we need to counter in some way. And looking at sort of the traditional, I think the first thought you would have would be to disrupt that ceremony, but realizing how important that ceremony is to many students here at UNC and to their families, and I don't think that's necessarily the image that we want to have as an organization, disrupting what's important to a lot of people, and a lot of people who work very hard. So, what I was thinking is that instead of doing that, we would hold an alternative ceremony for students who don't want their send-off into the world message to be from Bloomberg. Proposing, I know there's Occupy UNC, and I haven't spoken with them. Sorry. Mic check.
Mic check. Can you talk louder, or should we do people's mic?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay. People's mic.
Shall we do people's mic?
Yes. It's for the proposal, yeah.
Okay. We can do people's mic.
We can do people's mic.
Okay. So the idea I had is to have an alternative. Graduation ceremony. So that students who are graduating. Can have a different send-off. Into the world. Without completely disrupting a ceremony that's very important. To many students at UNC. So by organizing our own. We can create an alternative. So, I propose that. Sorry. This is my first people's mic.
You're doing great.
That we look into and discuss. Possibilities of organizing this event.
All right. Questions? Comments?
Are there students here that are interested?
Nice. Oh yeah, it's good. Okay. Any other? You mentioned. I have a question. Coming around several stacks. You mentioned you occupy UNC.
Yes.
How big a group is that?
I don't know. I didn't really know that they were still going on. Someone just mentioned it.
Okay.
So, coming here first. So we'll see what they say. Is anyone here involved in Occupy UNC?
I went to their first event, and since then I really haven't heard much, but I can contact a lot of the people who pulled that together and see what they're up to.
They're thinking about.
Because I don't know what they were doing.
Are you willing to bottom line the planning of this event? And if not, who is?
I'm willing to bottom line.
Yay!
So, are we in general support? See, it doesn't sound like it's something particularly needs a proposal. what you really want is support.
Support. Yeah.
And I'm hearing, when we say that generally we're in support, especially the students, but everybody. And so I would think that you've got it from what I've seen. And the advantage of coming to here is maybe for suggestions.
Yeah.
And so what I recommend is you send out a message on the listserv, asking for this support, and then soliciting and keeping us informed as to what the details are. Great. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone able to read the minutes from last meeting? Or were you just going to sort of, or somebody at least that was here yesterday that can their way through it? Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Well, that needs better planning in the future.
I can give you a rundown.
Oh, okay.
I can remember a few things. We did discuss the media working group because of the most recent situation that occurred with the Chrysler occupation and some of the confusion and our lack of ability as a group to respond quickly as Occupy Chapel Hill. So we discussed how we might improve that, and Chad and Becca and Mikhail, I believe, are the working group, so please talk with them if you would like to help. We really would like some folks who are willing to work with this. The other item that came up was related to our visioning question, and it was about a specific person who had spoken on behalf of Occupy Chapel Hill, and many of the occupiers felt that the person had misrepresented what the group had consensed. So we had a discussion on that, and that, I think, led to more discussion but no proposal. So that was part of why we were doing the vision. We also reiterated that on Monday night there will be no GA here, that we are going to be present at the Chapel Hill Town Council meeting at 7 o'clock to express our anger and great displeasure at the way the raid was handled at the Yates building. There were also several announcements about tonight's Solidarity March and the fact that we did have people who were present at the trial this morning in Hillsborough, and I believe on Monday there's another one of our occupiers here who was at Yates who is going to be there, and you probably can find the information on the website. I don't remember the times. But that's what I remember from last night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was brilliant.
Good, thank you. I've never been called brilliant.
When is the Solidarity March scheduled tonight? 7 or 7:30? 7:30.
Yeah. It does say 7:30.
The website says 7:30. Okay, 7:30. Good.
Where's the restroom? Those they're open.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the way. So.
Yeah, they're open for us as long as we keep them neat and tidy.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, well, if there's no other items, are there any tabled items that we missed? So then we're going to call it a General Assembly tonight. If you want to discuss tomorrow's visioning question, after the meeting, and now we can open the floor for announcements. Announcements, any announcements? Yes.
We're having a march. Leaving from here after the meeting.
Okay, the website says 7:30, I hear.
What time is it now?
And it's 7 now.
I don't.
Okay, we're leaving in 30 minutes.
I just want to add that also before the meeting at 7 at the town council on Monday, people are also convening at the police station to show their displeasure with their actions on Sunday, and people are going to march from there to the meeting at 7 at the town hall. So that's another thing to happen.
And again, just to recheck, do we have anyone with our legal line, with the number to call if anything were to happen tonight, or at any point?
I don't know. Do you
have a number?
I don't think so.
We can get a number.
Yeah,
We'll get a number.
We'll get a number.
Alright, so the last occupation I worked with was with Occupy UNC Greensboro, and they're interested in starting up a coalition between the colleges against tuition hikes that are going to be hitting students. And if anyone's interested, you can come to me and we could work on a meeting between the two.
That is anybody hear that? That was a very interesting idea because it's very relevant to a lot of things going on.
Say again?
What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
The last occupation I worked with was with Occupy UNC Greensboro, and they're interested in starting up a coalition between colleges in North Carolina about the rising tuition hikes. So you come to me.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
February.
Any other announcements? Yes, sir.
Just quickly related to that, there were 4 UNC police officers that were involved with the shock and awe tactics at the Yates building. Why is UNC student money paying for that when tuition is going up every year? Protect private property.
Heather.
I just had someone's concerned a little bit. Can we get a little more definition about the march that what our demeanor is gonna be in the march? Are we being
Loud?
Violent? Are we being non-violent? Are we being happy? Are we being brave? What are we doing?
Okay, thank you.
Happy and sing-songy, right?
Our comments on that? I think what she's asking is being loud good? Are we going to have any property damage or no?
No. Do you plan to break anything?
Can we? Can we? Well, yes.
All right. Mic check.
Mic check.
All right.
All right.
So tonight. I think we should all be proud of ourselves.
We should all be proud of ourselves.
And we should all be proud of people across the country that are standing in solidarity with us.
And we should all be proud of people across the country who are standing in solidarity with us.
In solidarity with the people in New York.
In solidarity with the people in New York.
In solidarity with the people in Oakland.
In solidarity with the people of Oakland.
And in solidarity with all those who are being oppressed by the state and the Capitol.
In solidarity with all of those who are being oppressed by the state and Capitol. Woo!
So I think we should be jovial.
And I think we should be jovial.
And I think we should be proud.
And I think we should be proud.
And I think we should be together.
And I think we should be together.
So.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Good, thank you. Does that answer all your questions, or it doesn't answer mine?
Oh, it doesn't answer. I think I'm cool, and I think was wondering is cool. What's your question?
Stepping out as facilitator, my question is, are we consenting that there will be no property damage?
Yes.
That is a proposal. I propose that this march involve no property damage. Does everybody agree to that? Or any comments? Oh, I should be moderating.
There's a block. Okay.
All right? Yeah. Very good.
All right.
All beauty.
30 minutes.
All right, so we will leave.
28 minutes.
We could actually do a warm-up lap.
Did anybody bring musical instruments? There's drums over here.
All right. So if you got time, to make a sign. You got about 20 minutes. Make signs. Find your noisemaker of choice.
Charge your phone.
We'll leave in 7:30.
Proposal: we could do one trial march and then do the real one, just to make sure.
Maybe a cool down march after that. I like that.
out here? Plugs?
Plugs are in the pot.
But are there any out here? Do you know?
No, but
I don't think so.
we thought it was going to be 7.
Alright, let me see.
Up in the air. Well,
The black ones is what? 7 or 7?